Hello, my name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the basic template or the basic structure of an article using LaTeX. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. As you know from the prior video, there are several things we need to do. First of all, we have to indicate our document class. And so to do that, we use the slash next to the bracket and we type in document class. We have to tell LaTeX what type of document are we making. There are many different types, as I mentioned before: articles, books, memoirs, CVs, theses, etc. But for this particular video, we're going to use article because we're going to produce an article that we might submit as an assignment as a student or maybe to a particular journal or whatever. So that's what we're doing. We're making an article. And there are two packages that we need to use because they give us some, we call it in typesetting, some dummy text. In other words, it gives us a lot of text that we can use to see what our document will look like without us having to waste time typing it ourselves. So we're going to use two packages for that. The first one, first of all, we got to use the declaration called use package. And one more thing I need to mention is that everything I'm doing right now is part of the preamble. In other words, this is before the actual document begins. So the two packages we're going to use is Babel and blind text. So I'm going to first put in Babel. Now inside the brackets here, I'm going to put the language that I'm going to use for Babel that I wanted to recognize. So English, obviously, because that's the language that I speak. And then inside the curly braces, I put the name of the actual package, Babel. And so if you're familiar with LaTeX, formatting for code, you know that the square brackets, you put optional information that the package might need, and inside the curly braces, you put the actual information that you want the declaration to do. Next, we're going to use another package. So we're going to use the use package, excuse me, I misspelled that. Use package name declaration again, and we're going to use the package called blind text. So that's what we're going to do there. Hopefully that's formatted correctly. And now we're going to begin the document. And what I always like to do after I begin the document is I like to immediately put in the document because I frequently like to forget. So there you have it. So far we have our document set up, but we have no text inside it. Now, as you know, if you're into academics, we often begin our article or our paper or whatever with the title page. So we're going to do a really quick, simple title page. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to create the actual document itself, the actual article. So to make a title, we use the title declaration, and then we put inside it the name of the paper. So we're just going to call this example paper. And then normally we have an author, so we're going to use the author declaration, and inside that we're going to put somebody's name, somebody named Darren Thomas. And then normally, you have to put the institution and also your email address if you're submitting the paper. Now, the way I'm setting this up, if you're more familiar with LaTeX, you might be laughing a little bit. But for the purpose of a simple video for beginners, I'm going to use a slight shortcut to put in the institution and the email address. Now, if you're looking closely, I put a forward slash, two forward slashes here, or maybe it's a backward slash, I'm not sure. But I put that here, and that is like pressing enter almost in LaTeX code. And so now I'll put an institution. You put the name of your institution here, and then another backward slash, and then I put email. That's what I'm going to put here next. Then I'll put a colon. I'm not going to put my actual email address. I prefer my privacy, if you don't mind. Now after that, you have to use the command make title. And so with that done, we click all this, and you can see right here we have a nice beautiful cover page. So let me make this a little bit bigger for you. So the title is example paper. This is the author, and then I kind of crammed in the institution and email right here. Notice how it's kind of centered. You probably don't want this for the institution and email, but again, this is just to get us started. And then it also puts the date down below. So that's the power of LaTeX for that. Now the last thing I want to show you is how to actually make an actual document. So the next thing we have to do, is we have to put a new page. Because I want my document, my actual article, to begin on the next page. I don't want it to begin on the title page. So that's why I'm putting that there. Following that, I can actually put in my information. So you guys probably know that an article begins with the introduction. So we use the section command or the section declaration, and inside the curly braces, we put the name of the section, which is going to be introduction. Okay, like so. And then I'm just going to put some blind text here just for purposes. 2 paragraphs. Notice how I put the space between them. When you put the space between 2 pieces of text, LaTeX considers that to be showing you that, hey, we want 2 paragraphs here. And so that's what it will do. So we got the first section done. Let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. All right, so here's the title page. We've seen that before. And then notice how we have the numbering here at the bottom in the middle. And then I need to zoom out a little bit. And you can see here I have my introduction right here, and I have my 2 paragraphs. Where do these paragraphs come from? I used the blind text declaration right here. I used it twice, and so I was able to get the document 2 times. So I put it right here, and I put it right here. So you can see that. So let me go back and show this to you. So you can see we have the 2 paragraphs here. Nice, beautiful heading, and then we have the number at the bottom again. So, as you probably know, the next section of many papers is called a review of literature. So, like so. And then I'll put some more blind text here. And then just for fun, I'm going to make what we call a subsection. So I'm going to use the subsection declaration. I'm just going to call it concept. This is very common when you get further into a document. And then again, I'm going to put blind text. That's how that should be. All right, so nice and beautiful. And so let's see what this looks like. And so here we have it. So this is my section 1, my introduction. I have 2 paragraphs here. It's the same as corresponding to this information right here. Let me make this a little bit smaller for you. And then right here I have my review of literature. And so you can see it starts with the number 2, and this blind text right here represents this paragraph right here. Right here, if you don't mind. And then after that, I have the subsection called concept. So it's called a 2.1, and you can see right here how it's a 2.1 right here. So this is how you set up an actual document. I wanted to try to provide the big picture before I go into all the details about how to make the text different sizes and the fonts and all that other stuff that is very, very important in LaTeX. But this is the overall structure of an actual document. And so that was the purpose of this video. So in today's video, we learned how to make a title page and how to set up an actual document in LaTeX. We had to use a couple packages to make this happen, and we also had to learn a little bit about, sections and subsections and all the different declarations that you can use. When you're trying to make a basic document, you need to keep in mind that your document class will probably be article, and you have to keep in mind the use of the section and the subsection, even perhaps the subsection declarations for your text. If you want to have several paragraphs, keep in mind that you need to put a space between the paragraphs, and that will tell LaTeX that they're separate paragraphs. And when this is done, notice how you'll get that nice indentation on that second paragraph all the way down, etc. So we want to thank you for listening, and take care.